So, you're stepping into the CIO role. Every great transition, every single one, starts with a solid strategic roadmap. And that's exactly what this is, the CIO 90-day plan. Think of it as your playbook for building momentum, creating real alignment, and delivering results right out of the gate. It's all about making those first 3 months really, truly count.
At its heart, this whole roadmap is built on 3 simple but powerful phases: learn, plan, and execute. You can see how each 30-day block just naturally builds on the one before it. It's a sequence that's designed to turn your understanding into a concrete plan and that plan into measurable impact. So let's dive in with the most important first step: learning.
All right, for your first 30 days, your number one job isn't to be the boss, it's to be the best student in the organization. Seriously, this whole phase is about listening, really getting the feel for the culture, and just building a solid foundation of awareness of the entire landscape.
I want you to think of this as a complete 360-degree deep dive. You know, your work actually starts before you even walk in the door on day 1. You're going to get your hands on everything public: annual reports, what the competition is up to. But once you're inside, your mission is all about critical listening. You need to talk to everyone: your own IT staff, the business leaders, even customers. And you're going to be armed with 2 incredibly simple but powerful questions. What do we do well? And maybe even more importantly, what do we not do so well?
You know, it's kind of like being an architect showing up at a new building site. You wouldn't just start sketching out blueprints and ordering steel without first walking the land, right? You'd test the soil, you'd check the climate. It's the exact same principle here. Your first job is to just understand the terrain before you even think about building on it. Now, to give your assessments some structure, it's really helpful to look at the health of your IT department across these 5 key pillars. This just makes sure you're not missing anything. You're looking at your people, their skills, their morale. You're looking at the actual infrastructure. How are you managing projects and the whole portfolio? And how strong are your partnerships, both with the business inside and with your vendors on the outside? And that's really the core of this whole learn phase. You're hunting for that unfiltered, honest feedback, because that's where the real gold is. These are the conversations that tell you how you actually stack up, what cool innovations your partners are seeing out in the market, and what your customers really, truly need from you. Those are the insights that give you an edge.
So all this listening, it's not just some academic exercise. It's a hunt for opportunity. Your goal here is to pinpoint a few small but highly visible victories. We call them quick wins, and they are absolutely vital. Why? Because they build trust, like immediately. They start to shift the perception and change the story that people tell about the IT department. And that creates this incredible positive momentum for you and your whole team.
Okay, let's shift gears and see how all this learning starts to pay off. Now that you've got this incredible clarity from your first month, you can start translating all that knowledge into a real strategic blueprint that lines up perfectly with what the business is trying to achieve. Look, a great plan isn't just some document that sits on a shelf. It's a living, breathing process. It starts with defining a really clear purpose for IT. From there, you just move through the steps logically. You capture what the business needs, you take an honest look at your team's ability to deliver, you develop sharp metrics for success, your KPIs, and then you validate and communicate the heck out of that plan so everyone's on the same page.
And this is exactly why having a formal plan matters so much.
This isn't about creating more bureaucracy or paperwork. It's about getting everyone, and I mean everyone, aimed at the same target. When your strategic priorities are crystal clear, your whole organization, from the brand new developer to your partners in marketing, is lined up and pushing in the exact same direction. So that leads to a big question, right? With all the noise and all the demands, how do you make sure you're focusing on what really matters to the business and not just what's screaming the loudest? Well, you solve that by putting a system in place. You use a combination of tools that create clarity and give you a constant stream of feedback. You have things like SLAs, service level agreements, which are basically formal contracts that say, here's what you can expect from us. You can create super user programs to empower folks in the business, which lowers your support costs. And of course, use regular surveys to get that direct, invaluable feedback from the people you're actually serving.
Now, a really great plan isn't just about all the cool, shiny new projects. An effective strategy is all about striking a balance. You've got to tackle those foundational gaps, patching the leaky roof of tech debt and missing processes, while at the very same time, you're building the new extension with innovative initiatives that drive the business forward. You got to do both.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most exciting phase: execute. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where all that planning turns into action, and where you get to lead with accountability, with transparency, and with a total focus on making measurable progress.
Successful execution really comes down to one word: discipline. It all starts with strengthening how you manage demand. That's the front door for every single request that comes to IT. Getting that right lets you prioritize like a surgeon and, crucially, avoid overcommitting your team. From there, it's about having strong governance over your projects and vendors, and just constantly tracking your metrics and communicating your progress.
Now this is a massive strategic shift. You have to move IT from being a reactive order taker to being a proactive strategic partner. What does that mean? It means you engage with the business way upstream where the ideas are born, not just when a project request form shows up. It means getting your people embedded right in their strategy sessions. I want you to burn this sentence into your brain. This is the golden rule of the execution phase. You have to make communication your best friend and transparency your greatest superpower. Because when people really understand the what, the why, and the how, trust isn't something you have to ask for. It's just the natural result.
And here's a key discipline to adopt: value management. It basically means that every single thing you do, every project, has to be directly tied to a measurable business outcome. It's not good enough anymore to just finish a project on time and on budget. You have to hold yourself and your team accountable for delivering that real, tangible value you promised at the start.
And finally, please, don't just do amazing work. Talk about it. IT marketing isn't about bragging. It's about strategically managing expectations and showing off the progress you're making. It builds confidence across the entire company and helps everyone see IT for what it is, a true value creator.
So, after these 90 days of this intense cycle of learning, planning, and executing, what have you actually accomplished? What's the real outcome of this whole journey? It's nothing short of a fundamental transformation. When you follow this framework, you're not just surviving a transition. You're building deep, unshakable credibility. You're creating undeniable impact. And you're cementing your role not just as an IT manager, but as a trusted strategic partner who is absolutely essential to the future of the organization.
So we're going to leave you with this one final question. Because these first 90 days, they aren't the finish line, not even close. They are the launch pad. You've poured the concrete and built a solid foundation. The real question is, what are you going to build on day 91?